Hi guys, welcome back. It is Shayreen, and today's topic for this speed paint is going to be about how to stay consistent, or at least how I stay consistent. Now, I've heard in the past, or I've read studies to where they talk about how taking breaks will help with consistency, but I didn't listen to that. Like when I first started out with comics, I thought if I took a break, then that would mean that I would get behind, or that would be time wasted that I could have spent drawing the comics. So it's like, no, I don't take breaks. I go hard. We work until it's done. And that didn't really work out for me. So to answer the question how to stay consistent, first off, take breaks. That's step one. Take breaks. And when I mean take breaks, I mean for me what I have to do and what I've learned is I now take 25-minute breaks, and I kind of cycle it. So I'll do 25 minutes and then I'll take a break for 10 minutes. And then I'll do another 25 minutes and then take another 10-minute break. And then I'll do, after that, after I've done 1 hour of work, then I usually take like a 30-minute break. Now, for me, sometimes I might take a 15-minute break, sometimes I might take an hour break. But that's also leading to step two of how to stay consistent. That I learned for myself, at least, I have to listen to my feelings. So, step one, of course, I have to learn how to take breaks. Step two, I need to learn how to listen to myself. And this is just me talking about my whole process on how I stay consistent as an artist. It might not fit for everybody. I'm not too sure. I first didn't think that this whole break thing would fit for me, and I didn't do it for a really long time, which thus led to me burning out. But I've learned through my own trial and error that taking breaks, that's how I was able to stay consistent. That's what helped me to stay consistent. And I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys on how to stay consistent. And just a topic that I wanted to talk about while you guys are watching this speed paint. So when I talk about this break method, it's actually, what is it called? The tomato timer break method. You can Google it. It's on Google, so it's easily accessible. And what I also learned, not only taking breaks and listen to your feelings, I have to, because I want to talk in first person, not kind of make it seem like as if I'm saying you have to do this. But for me, I've learned that I have to apply these type of rules to my situation. So for instance, for some people, they're able to stick to that 25-minute work, 10-minute break, and keep going back to back like that, and it works perfect. But for me, I can't stick to it like that all the time. I at least try to adjust it to how my mind is feeling. And when I say how my mind is feeling, I'm talking about like that brain fog. And I actually read another article that talked about 4-hour work shifts, I think it's called, to where our productivity ends up actually dipping if we work nonstop for 4 hours. I don't know how true that is. I'm not a scientist. I don't know how credible that is. Not true. But I wanted to go ahead and test it out and try it out, at least for myself. And I applied what worked good for me, and I kind of just disregarded or set aside what wasn't really the best for me, because at the end of the day, I really want to prioritize my happiness. I want to prioritize enjoying the journey. I want to prioritize just me. And which brings me to my not second, this is going to be like my third tip to stay consistent, is prioritizing yourself. And it's like, how is that in consistency? How does that go hand in hand? What I mean with that, and what I learned from my own errors, was that when I started putting my art before my own mental health, like if my brain was getting foggy, or if I looked at an art piece the next day and I'm like, I don't want to work on this, but I pushed myself to work on it anyways, it I didn't enjoy it. And I continued to go down that path, ignoring my feelings, ignoring the signs that my body was telling me with the brain fog and the body aches and just the unhappiness. I kept going and I ended up hitting artist block pretty bad. And like this artist block, it stayed for years because I had so much resentment towards my art, towards myself, because I didn't listen to myself. And thus my consistency dipped, you know. At that time, oh yeah, I pushed myself and I got maybe an extra 2 or 3 pages out. But then that art block hit and there was no more work for the next 3 years. So had I probably actually listened to myself and took a break, took like a day break, or took that extra 30-minute break, or took an hour break, maybe I could have avoided the artist block. I don't know why I'm saying maybe, because actually I've been implementing these steps now, taking breaks, listening to myself, prioritizing my happiness, prioritizing myself. I've been applying that now, and it's been working. Like some days I might not want to work on the comic at all, and I allow myself to actually not work on the comic if I'm getting signals from myself that no, I'm not feeling it today, which is the beauty of being an artist and being, a self-employed artist. I'm able to set my own deadlines, and I have to apply this to my situation. This might not be for everybody else. This might not work for everybody else's situation, but for me as a like an artist for myself, I have my own deadlines. I'm publishing my comic online myself, and so there's no one telling me you have to have this done now, so my situation's a little different. But for me, doing those steps, it helps. I've been actually excited to work on my comic, which is crazy because I'm on this chapter that I'm working on right now, I believe is chapter 8, and usually I get burnt out by like chapter 3, and I'm actually excited to work, excited to do the comic, and I want to do the comic. Like, I'm motivated to do the comic, and my consistency, I've been consistently able to stick to my monthly deadline, which I kind of want to talk about that in another video on motivation and setting, how I set my deadlines and my whole mindset on why I decided to do monthly deadlines, and then like the guilt that I had to deal with not doing what other people were doing, because other people are doing weekly deadlines and here I am doing monthly deadlines, and how that's going for me. So I think if you guys let me know if you guys would be interested in a video on me talking about my monthly deadlines and why I'm doing that and how that's going and how I'm dealing with the constant guilt that I'm not doing enough. And I guess that's like the imposter syndrome kicking in. But either way, I definitely do suggest you guys try out kind of what I'm trying out right now. I'm still testing it out. I have no clue what I'm doing. But this is what has helped me to stay consistent. And so far, we're going good. We're at episode 8 right now. And we're moving forward to episode 9 and 10. So to like recap everything, try to take your breaks, do whatever break method, or I'm doing whatever break method fits best for whatever my body is telling me. So take breaks, listen to your body, prioritize your happiness. It's good to get a comic done, but it's better if you're happy and it's even better if I'm enjoying it. So I gotta prioritize that. So yeah, stay consistent by taking breaks, prioritizing your happiness, and I can't remember what the other one was. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still working on trying to get better at this YouTube video thing, but I am excited because I finally have stuff that I want to talk about. Because I need to prioritize my happiness more, and I'm excited to start doing that, to see how that will help my comics, because I have a lot of stories to make, and if I hate making stories because I'm hating the process, because I'm not listening to myself and I resent myself for not listening to myself, then what's the point? At least for me. But either way, if you guys want to read this webtoon, you can stop by my website, s-morishitastudio.com, and you can read the latest updates for free. And also on my Patreon, they actually have a new follow. Well, it's not new, but they have a follow button to where you don't have to financially support. You can just follow my Patreon page. And I'm excited that I learned about this because now I can actually like share even like earlier or newer episodes with like the public on my Patreon feed. And of course, for Patreon supporters, they get even an extra additional chapter ahead. So my monthly updates are still the first of the month. But you can check me out at s-morishitastudio.com or S-Morishita on Patreon. I'm also on Webtoon and Tapastic. And I guess I should tell you guys the name of the comic. It's Catch Me, Fight Me, Love Me. It's a slow burn type comic where fake marriage trope and about how if feelings that first arrived out of petty obligations can they turn like into something real. That's the best way that I can think of right now. Anyways, the video's ending, so I hope you guys have a great day and thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope to talk to you guys again next week. Okay, bye bye.